The first round from Des Moines, Hartford, Jacksonville, and Salt Lake City get you going in first round coverage of the 2019 NCAA men's basketball tournament. All right, hello and welcome on into our studios. We've got we got 5 games on the big board today. 5 out of the 16 that are happening today. Of course, we'll check in our bracket in just a moment in the games that are happening today. Hello, friends. Welcome on in. It's a big day for college basketball. 2 days that are called the best day in sports in America year after year. At least 2 of the top 5 days are coming up today and tomorrow. Sports all day long. Right here in America across 4 cities. A total of 16 games. And that's pretty great when you consider how much these players like to play. Let's check in on some of these other games that are happening today as well. You've got Marquette, Murray State. That game coming up 3:30. These games are not in chronological order, but we put some additional games up here on the screen for today. So somebody will come out of here a winner. You'll see who's going to win here. Nevada, Florida looks pretty good today. Wonder that potentially could play Michigan. The game in Des Moines, so neither of these teams particularly close to Des Moines. It'll be an interesting one. Certainly from Des Moines, Iowa, which of course is my favorite host site. Let's get back to these games. Louisville, Minnesota to lead off the day on CBS. Maryland and Belmont on True TV, which of course we know that every year a first 4 team has moved on. But will it be the Belmont? I don't even know what they're called. The Belmont. Are they Belmont Bruins? Or I have to check that real quick. Yeah, they are the Belmont Bruins. I have no excuse to not know that. Game in Hartford. Villanova, St. Mary's. St. Mary's, of course, West Coast Conference champions for the tournament, at least. They were. They didn't win the West Coast Conference regular season, but, of course, they are just a win away from knocking off the defending national champions here in Villanova. That's not a team that you want to see at a 6 line. They could be dangerous, especially here in the first round for St. Mary's team that would have taken any of the other 6 seeds to play other than Villanova, especially in Hartford. That's just, it's real tough. And then in the nightcap, late tonight, the last game of the night, about 9 p.m. Central Time is about the time they're going to tip off on True TV. Syracuse and Baylor, the winner to potentially play Gonzaga, which they would know who they were going to play. The Gonzaga Fairleigh Dickinson game will go right before that game. So, we're in March. We're here. We're ready for these big games to get going. It is a big time day for March Madness. All right. We're we're going to get some picks in here today. Again, a reminder, tomorrow we've got more first-round coverage from our other sites, including Columbus, Columbia, Tulsa, and San Jose. Those games tomorrow, same kind of schedule as today. We'll be back 10 Central Time right here on SN to bring you this coverage of March Madness. I didn't mention Wofford and Seton Hall, another good game tonight in Jacksonville. That game on CBS. Could happen as late as 9. Could happen a bit earlier. Thing is, they're starting these games like the first late game is going to start at 8:20 Central. Second late game at 8:40. Third late game 8:50. Fourth late game just before 9 Central. So the last 3 of those all within like a 10-minute time, or like a 20-minute time rather. But they're all gonna. It's gonna be. It always makes for good atmosphere. Last year, late night on like a Saturday or Sunday night, I remember watching the Houston-Michigan game in late night. It was, and I saw that thriller, the Jordan Poole 3. You can check that out for yourself to see, because that was absolutely unbelievable what we saw in last year's second round. First round, what we remember, the buzzer beater, Loyola Chicago, getting their win over Miami of Florida. That was really what we remember. It wasn't actually technically a buzzer beater, but it was at first, and then they added time back. So, I just don't want to feel like I'm pressured like that. Wofford Seton Hall again. That's coming up tonight. So let's get some picks in. We've waited all year long for March Madness. About 300 and who knows how many days. 2019 tournament picks. We got this document pulled up here today. Ready to get some picks on in. I will have to document these a bit later in our online document so we can prove, so I can actually have it on record. It's because JW not here right now. We're going to have to start without him because we're running behind. But I get to choose what games I pick, We're going to save a few games for later, but we're going to pick those obvious games. Gonzaga over Fairleigh Dickinson. I don't think they're going to win over Gonzaga today. I'm also going to pick Michigan State over Bradley. Some other alternative color other than white. It's using orange as well. Because, here we go. Michigan State over Bradley. I don't think that Michigan State's going to fall today. And I'm also going with Kentucky. Play tonight, right? Yeah, they're way up here. They'll handle our line. Any other crazy kind of seed games? Oh, I'm going Michigan. That's not a hard game. They're going to beat Montana. They played Montana last year. So those are all the 1s and 2 seeds that are in action today. All the rest of these games, I'm not as confident in. Those are the only 3 games that I could really rest last night and not have to think about. I'm so confident in those 4 games now. There's 3 2 seeds that are in action today. Just 1 seed. The 3 seeds that play today, I'm pretty confident in. I'm confident that Purdue will beat Old Dominion. LSU and Yale. I'm not as confident in LSU, but I'm still going to pick LSU. I think they'll be out today, and they'll get it done. watch out for that game. It is going to be closer than like a 10-point win. It's not going to be the classic 3-14. It's going to be a good game. But, it's not going to be – I don't think it's going to be Yale on top, though, at the end of the game. Now it gets real dicey once we get to the 4s. I'm pretty confident Kansas. They're going to beat Northeastern today. Pretty confident. Not just going to lie to you. Okay. So what we're talking here, I'm pretty confident in Kansas. Sorry about that. And I'm also pretty confident in I don't know about Florida State. Am I confident in them? I should be, but I'm just not. I'm gonna go on Maryland though in that game. Other games we got to pick here. I'm going Nevada. I'm going Syracuse over Baylor. Really picking these games way out of order. Like I'm going Seton Hall over Wofford. The reason I'm going Seton Hall is they looked really good in the end of the season. It was just against Big East play, but they're going to carry some of that over to the NCAA tournament here today. They should at least contend with Wofford. Wofford's not going to just run away with the game. Nova and St. Mary's. I'm going to go with Villanova. It's really too close to Philly for me to even think about taking St. Mary's. So let's get the rest of these games in order, starting with Louisville, Minnesota. I'm going with Gophers here today. The reason it's closer in proximity to Minnesota, and it's also, I believe, Minnesota has playmakers. They beat Purdue twice. They didn't just beat them once in the last 2 weeks of the season. They beat them twice in the last 2 weeks of the season. And Minnesota will get it done against Louisville. I'm thinking, not confident. Auburn, I'm going Auburn. A lot of people are saying New Mexico State has a good chance to get an upset. There's always been usually those 12 seeds, at least one 12 seed to get moving on. Last year, no 12 seeds moved on. I don't think New Mexico State will get it this year. Even though it is in Salt Lake City, it does favor them geographically, but I think Auburn, if they can stay in the game in the first half, they'll be fine. I don't think New Mexico State is going to just go away with this. Vermont, Florida State, though. Vermont has kind of that home court advantage. I can see Vermont in this game. This is one of the closer. This is a 13 seed that's got power. They've got an opportunity here today. It's an afternoon game. I think Florida State is going to have to get woken up here, but I do not want to bet against a team that got to the ACC Tournament Championship. They know that it's going to be a tough game, and really this year I feel like teams are realizing that you can get upset. After last year, UMBC, they shocked the world. And I'm just saying that it's not going to be this time for Florida State. Florida State, if you can get to the ACC Tournament Championship, you can knock off Virginia. I think you can knock off Vermont in Hartford. It doesn't really matter. Marquette and Murray State. This is going to be another interesting one. That'll follow Florida State and Vermont. So if Marquette had a very, very terrible end of their year. It was as bad as you can really get to end the season for Marquette. But I feel like they've been in the last few games. They destroyed, I believe, St. John's. And I'm going to go with Marquette. It's not the popular pick. Certainly not. But I'm going to go with Marquette. Any other games? I think we got them all. We've got them all. I'll get these into the computer. It's already on the computer, but I'm going to save now. So let's look at our brackets, how these games will shape the bracket. Let's go to our bracket. Got to find the bracket. Bracket site. I finally got North Dakota State up there after last night's victory over NC Central. That's the only game I've gotten wrong so far. So I'm not feeling. I'm 75% so far. So it's a lot better than I was doing on Champ Week. Let's look at brackets starting with the West region today. You got Marquette and Florida State both in action. I think those two games are going to be great games for a region that is said to be one of the weakest regions. Also, in late night tonight, we've got Gonzaga in action. Syracuse and Baylor will follow that one. These games, prime time. So 6 games in this region in action today. Also, Nevada and Florida from Des Moines. Michigan, Montana from Des Moines as well. As we move up into the Midwest, North Carolina and Iona is tomorrow, so we're not going to worry about that game. Auburn, New Mexico State, of course, that's another one. We're an upset. These are 4 and 5 seeds. There are always teams that can be let down. Maybe Kansas, after not winning the Big 12, maybe they will be let down, or will they use it as motivation to get past Northeastern and maybe even get to a Sweet 16? And in the Midwest region, virtually a home game for Kansas in Kansas City, where they played the Big 12 tournament, of course, losing to Iowa State. They look to avenge that. Iowa State could not play them until the Elite 8. Which, Iowa State 6 seed, Kansas 4 seed, can truly happen. You look also tonight, Wofford and Seton Hall, good one. Kentucky should also move on against Abilene. We go up to the South region. We got Villanova and Purdue in action. This is the only game in this region today. The only 2 games. I mean, you know what I'm saying here. From Hartford, Connecticut, Purdue, they should get it done against Old Dominion. Villanova in St. Mary's, that's going to be another good one. That's going to start the night off at 6:20, or it's going to be the 3rd game of the night at 6:20. It's going to start the night off from Hartford after a good early kind of day kind of thing. All the Hartford games are on TBS, I believe, today. TBS loves Hartford, apparently. And we're going to start our day in... We're actually not going to start... Actually, we are going to start the day in the East region. Louisville, Minnesota. Good one there. And Michigan State Bradley also going to be in Des Moines. And then Maryland, Belmont. The talk's been around that game. We'll see how that fares. But it's all going to start on True TV from Jacksonville, at least for them. LSU and Yale. We'll see who comes out on top of there. Again, that's our bracket look here today. Let's get back to our secondary screen. It's our second big board. We'll get back to the first big board in just a moment. It's exciting to see what we've got coming up. in just a few moments on March Madness. With all these teams an opportunity to move on to the weekend. The winners today will move on to play Saturday. Saturday, of course, you got the doubleheader in the morning or in the early afternoon, and then you got the prime time with 3 sessions simultaneously. That's how the weekends roll. We'll have 4 games on CBS today through Saturday and 3 games on Sunday on CBS. TBS, the 4 today and 4 tomorrow, as well as TNT, and then 2 on Saturday and 2 on Sunday. True TV will have 4 today, 4 tomorrow, and 1 on Sunday. Of course, they had 4 over the last 2 nights. So if you are looking at your full day kind of slate, I would start, of course, y'all are going to have to start Louisville, Minnesota. You know, you could switch over to the LSU-Yale game, but I'd start Louisville, Minnesota. Then I'd get going. Then I'd probably switch on over to see if Florida State game's a good one. I think that's an early game. That's at 1 o'clock. I might watch the Florida State game if it's good, or the Auburn game if that's one that's not over yet. Like, you know, you just keep flowing. You should know how to flow through this full day slate. But then in the second window, I'm looking Maryland Belmont should be a good one. Third window, maybe a Nevada game, maybe Nevada Florida in the third window. Of course, Marquette Murray State second window could be a good one. Also, third window, we have Villanova St. Mary's. Or that's the one I think I said third window. No. I said Nevada, Florida. But you also got Villanova St. Mary's. A fourth window, though, today, it's going to be more of that Wofford, Seton Hall. And you've also got in the late night, Syracuse and Baylor. It should be a good night for y'all out west. Late night out east for y'all. So, I don't know if you say that's pretty bad or if you're up late. The latest game tonight in Salt Lake City. Second latest game also in Hartford. So it's going to be a good day for action. Kevin Harlan's going to be in Des Moines today. I think that's all I remember. I think it's Iron Eagle is calling one of them. I think maybe it's a Hartford one. Somebody's probably in Jacksonville. Maybe he's in Jacksonville. See, I don't know. I know tomorrow Jim Nance is in Columbia. Brian Anderson is in Columbus. But apart from those games, I think Spiro, he might be in San Jose, and then Tulsa. It beats me. But I know Brad Nessler's got a 2 today. I think it's Andrew Catalan's got a game. I think Carter Blackburn has a game today. Or has 4 games today, I should say. But thank you so much for tuning in to our presentation of the Road to the Final Four here in the Ed's exclusive presentation of the first round coverage. We will have the second round coming for you. Second round going to continue tomorrow. Or second round Saturday. Tomorrow, first round continued coverage. We'll see you same time tomorrow. See you. Thank you so much for tuning on in. See you next time.